Let me then add my own comments, and I'm going to, like you, Jim, to the annoyance of my colleagues, adapt my prepared remarks to try to follow on from what's been said by the Deputy Prime Minister and yourself. I'm going to start off where President Kim left off his remarks by highlighting the importance, the relevance of social protection to what, Jim, you described as the great global risks which leaders have gathered in New York this week to address. I think social protection needs to be given its proper place in addressing these great global risks. So today's event, from my perspective, is important at two very clear levels. Firstly, it is a clear commitment by all of us here to realise universal social protection as a human right and as a state responsibility, something, by the way, at the ILO that the governments and the workers and the employers of the world came together in 2012 to recognise in recommendation 202 on social protection flaws. And I think this year, as countries begin this pursuit of the Sustainable Development Goals, there is increased recognition that social protection is fundamental to the reduction of poverty and inequality, in improving human capital and productivity, and in supporting growth and jobs. Social protection responds to many of the challenges and links many of the challenges that we face today. The second reason why I'm so pleased to be here is this is an example of how I believe we have to pursue the 2030 agenda generally, which is by partnerships. I've spent a lot of this week involving the ILO in partnerships on health, on education, later today on forced labour and on gender. But it's a particular pleasure, and it's a pleasure to be with President Kim to do this. I'm delighted that we are deepening our partnership with the World Bank, which has been progressing extremely well in recent years in an area of such fundamental importance as social protection is. Now, colleagues, in my own life, social protection has been a constant. I've been one of the privileged, one of the fortunate. When I was young, I knew that social protection was there. In my childhood, as an adult, I know that if unemployment, injury, sickness, bad luck strikes, I have the opportunity of being covered by social protection. I've known in the different countries where I've lived and worked that social protection is not delivered in a uniform way. There is no one-size-fits-all, but this is a human right which is for all. And the regrettable truth is, as has been underlined by the previous speakers, a considerable majority of people in the world do not enjoy the coverage that I suspect most of us have had throughout our lives of adequate social protection. But there is good news, and this has been emphasized again by other speakers. More than 30 countries in the developing world have taken up the challenge and already have made the vision of a world with universal social protection not a dream but a reality. I've got a long list of countries here which have done that.
Longer than my list.
Alphabetically, it starts with Argentina and it ends with Zanzibar in the Union of Tanzania. So it's a great list. And these are countries which have achieved universal or near universal pension coverage and guarantee to all of their older citizens. And that's a smart policy for two reasons. With these pensions, even if they might be quite basic in their level, older persons can buy goods and services that boost local economies, as Jim has indicated. And in addition, of course, older people generally share their pension benefits with other members of their family, following generations within a family. Other countries have also achieved universal social protection in different areas. For children, and again I would cite Argentina, Mongolia as well. Universal maternity protection, Argentina again, and India. Universal disability benefits, and here I would cite Nepal and South Africa. So all of these developing countries give the world an important lesson that building universal social protection is feasible. It can be done. And there are, of course, many pathways to developing universal social protection. And I think we have to draw on the precious lessons of experience. And in the ILO, we've documented the efforts in a series of country briefs on universal social protection. Those are now available to the public for the first time today. And I think by studying those country briefs, we can all discover, we can all learn from the compelling success stories that are contained. That's the good news, but of course these countries remain a minority. More needs to be done. And in this regard, I want to sort of echo what President Kim has said about the need to combine strategy and tactics. It's great to launch this partnership today, but it won't run by itself. It's not just something we can wind up and set running. We're going to have to keep working and work hard to make this global partnership a success. I would say that it already brings together dedicated partners such as the African Union, the FAO, the European Commission, Help Age, OECD, Save the Children, UNDP, UNICEF, of course Belgian, French and German cooperation and others. Let's add to that list. So, dear colleagues, we're at a, I think, critically important moment. We have an enormous opportunity with this partnership. I thank you all for your commitment and your presence today, and I'm sure that as we move forward, we'll learn more and we'll know how to move forward better. So thank you.